going on, everyone? It's Paranormal 101. We're talking about the 5 different roles. So, in a more relaxed approach, we talk about going in there without any roles whatsoever. You know, when we get there, you pick up a photo camera. Hey, do you mind if I take photos? Traditionally, there's big locations allow, traditionally, 10 people. Hey, you could bring 10 people for $300 or $500 or whatever it may be, and then you just cut up the cost. $30, $50 a pop. And I want to make sure, as I'm the leader, I have 10 people. I want to make sure that there's no noise contamination. So I cut the team of 10 into 5s. 2 teams of 5 people. And I spread them out throughout the location just to make sure there's no noise contamination. So if Sean is yelling in the basement, you don't hear it. So if someone's in the basement, maybe I have them up 2 floors, so there's a floor in between, for example. But every person on that team has a role. And the way we teach it is, it's not really an acronym, but it's PERCS, P-E-R-C-S. The photographer, the EVP tech, the recorder, the camera operator, and the static tech. The reason why we have 5 different roles per team is I want to make sure everyone has a job. If you're going on an investigation, I don't see any value in you just being an observer or you being out of the action. I want everyone to feel value, and I want everyone to be participating in the investigation. Additionally, with 5 different roles, you can give someone a completely different experience. Going to a location as the photographer and taking at least 2 photos of everything is a completely different experience from being the camera operator in IR lights, because traditionally you're out there in the dark and most of the time your flashlight's off and it's pitch dark and you're asking for some kind of paranormal activity to occur. But as the camera operator, you've got IR, you've got infrared, basically night vision. I mean, you can see all the dark corners and everything. It's a completely different experience. Or for the EVP tech, you're leading the conversation. It's a completely different feeling. So traditionally we have 5 different roles. The photographer is going to be taking at least 2 photos of everything. Where you put static equipment, like static audio recorders, group photos of everyone, and very important. And we're trying to get some paranormal evidence via those photographs. The EVP tech is the one that operates the mobile audio recorder. You know, make sure that they set it down on a flat surface, you know, not in their hand, not, you know, rummaging around in their hand, on a flat surface. And they're the ones that say, hey everyone, I just wanted to introduce ourselves. We're friends of the homeowner. I'm Brian and I'm here with, and everyone goes around the room. For the recorder's sake, this is Team Delta. We're in the basement here, and maybe a quick introduction. Again, we are friends of the homeowner. There's been some strange activity in the house. We want to hear your story. If you have a message you want to tell us, good or bad, we want to just communicate with you. If you have a message that you want to pass on to someone, we're here, all ears. And if any of the answers to the questions are yes, please make a loud noise as close to us, or maybe touch one of us, or if you have a REM pod set up, touch that red light or touch that object right there. You lead the conversations. You're asking for stuff, asking certain questions, and then you pass the torch along. There's the recorder that just records everything in a notebook with a nice ink gel pen, and just time stamping. Hey, we just heard a loud noise downstairs at 12:33. Write that down, 12:33. Loud noise in the basement. And then you got the camera operator, which is video camera, just recording the entire thing for visual. Hopefully there's some paranormal evidence there. And lastly, for the static tech, they're setting up static audio recorders, static video cameras, And, maybe they're bringing along a red candle to light and asking for, paranormal activity. Obviously, there's no vents or anything that's going to blow it out, but for some kind of paranormal activity to blow out, or some kind of ghost or something to blow out the candle, set up a REM pod, set up a portal, an SB7, a ghost box, spirit box, whatever it may be. Those are traditionally the 5 roles. I know we're going to get more into it in Paranormal 101, but let me just stress the importance of having this structure. Let's say we take Drew, for example. Drew's never been on a paranormal investigation. He thought it'd always be cool to go ghost hunting, but he's never once experienced it. Every investigation is a crazy new place. And I know if I give him a different role every time, it'll be a crazy new experience every time. One time, he's taking photos of it's not an abandoned, but an old haunted asylum. And the next time, he's flipping on the IR video camera in someone's home, going throughout their basement where, the homeowners reported things flying off the walls, going in their backyard because strange stuff happens with the dogs, to even setting up the REM pod, in the corner, sets it up, and then it starts to go off like crazy in response to questions. It's a totally different experience every time. That's why we have 5 different roles. That's why we like to have people do different roles. And maybe after all 5 different roles, Drew sets in and says, I love being the static tech because I'm a huge techie. I love bringing the REM pod around and making sure it's set up perfect. Then just let him do the static tech after experiencing all 5 different roles. But maybe you have a team of 4. Maybe you don't need a static tech and, people could bring, the REM pod with them. Maybe you're a team of 1 or 2, where maybe one person is always the camera operator and one person's always the EVP Tech who periodically takes photos. You can mold this to whatever team aspect you're doing, because if this is Paranormal 101 and you're trying to start your paranormal venture, maybe you're trying to start a team. Maybe you're saying, Brian, I want to start a team. How do I do it? Well, you should start with a free investigation. Maybe someone who's got a haunted house, or like a private residence that's got some weird activity, and you go there out of courtesy. It's a free investigation to investigate for the night. Tell the homeowners to go down the street with their relatives or their friends, and you'll take it from there. But those are some 5 roles that you can, have you and bring 4 other people and give them all a role. Bring some old IR cameras or just basic. Maybe you got just like your smartphones, airplane mode, do not disturb, as audio recorders or static audio recorders, and just jot some notes down. But if you have a group at scale and you have a budget and you are collecting investigation fees, those are the roles that you should be setting up, in my opinion. And of course, you can create new ones, but those should be the basic 5. You got someone taking the photos, you got someone leading the conversations and operating the mobile audio recorder, you got someone jotting down all the notes, timestamps. That is a blessing when you're going back to do the evidence review. You got someone videotaping the whole thing. You got someone bringing along the REM pods, the portals, the jazz, and making sure that all the static video cameras, static audio recorders get set up and taken down. You don't want to be leaving a video camera that might be 2 hours away depending on the location. So, quite the ramble for this Tuesday for Paranormal 101. But it's so important. And we're going to get into the nuances of all the 5 roles, but super stressing here. These roles, very, very important. All right, everyone, go have a fantastic Tuesday.